Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'll be going through the Hurricanes versus Sydney Thunder game, the first game of the round 7 of the BBL SuperCoach season in what has been a rather deflating round, I would say, given that a lot of the batters have actually gone off in this round, and basically my trade-in targets just didn't work. At this point, I think I almost would have got more points by just holding firm with my trades than actually trading in the guys that I did. But it is what it is, and that can be SuperCoach at this point in the season across all formats. But then, in particular, BBL SuperCoach can be super volatile with players just needing to get to 20. I mean, we even saw in the last game last night that Spencer Johnson got to 26 off like 12, which is just unheard of. I think he almost would have. Let's actually just do a little check here for his stats in general. You can, if you look at his stats, he has got 88 runs in T20 cricket in 65 matches, 22 innings, 11 not outs, and his highest score of 27. I would have said just got scored, 27. If you take that out, he's down to 61 runs at an average of 6.1. So he lifted his average by 2 in that game just because of that innings, which just shows how random, I guess, it is. But anyway, let's just get through this game in general. So I wish this game had been the second one, and I wish the Sixers versus Scorchers had been the previous day, or they just swapped, because it would have actually meant that my trades would have been a whole lot different. But it is what it is in the end. Sometimes you can't. The fixturing and sometimes having to pre-plan for rain that didn't actually eventuate has caused chaos. And yeah, it is what it is. Semi-conscious, 4 off 9 never really got going, and Matt Wade took the catch off Meredith, off a good bouncer. David Warner really took the slow approach in this innings, and I think, and I was talking to Brain about this, I think it just really... and we had almost differing opinions, but I think when you have the momentum, and I think they were 2 for 82 at one point, 3 for 116 at one point, he just never really put effort back into the innings or sort of an impetus back in the innings, and it really just stunted the Sydney Thunder. And 160 felt par on that, 170 felt par on that pitch. We've seen it looking at the stats there. I know that BJ was high on the 160 is average in the last 10 innings, but if you actually look at it, 160 is average in the last 10, but that's been chased down 8 of the last 10 times. So is 160 really par on that wicket, or is it just what is getting to, is that just what the first innings is getting to, and it's getting down easily chased? And I think that's almost what happened in other games for that round, or per se, or just you saw a difference in the average scores at different grounds. But anyway, I thought that David Warner's innings was very selfish in the end, just with the way he just tried to... He was hitting full tosses straight to just nurdling them out to guys in the deep after the 10th over, and I was just sitting here like, you're not doing anything to manoeuvre the field around. Like, we'll get to Smith's innings, and I'm going to do a double up there of the 2 games there and a little bit longer, but yeah, we won't do 3 recordings, we'll do 2. But you saw how Steve Smith and also... Matt Shaw batted on a bloody road. That was a highway, that Adelaide Oval. But you saw the difference in how those two pushed on the innings very quickly. Steve Smith was 25 off 21, I think, or 36 off 30. And he got to 100 and he faced less rocks than David Warner on arguably a harder pitch, I reckon, even though it did have the shorter boundary. And he smashed it. And I know that you'll look at this and you'll go, the Sydney Sixers scored 220 and Perth scored 200. But I think that was a genuinely harder pitch to bat on than this Hobart versus Sydney Thunder game. Matt Gilkes 9 off 7, Ollie Davies 17, and then just skied it. Nikhil Chowdhury got a wicket because Nathan Ellis went off, which was quite a scare for a moment for those that want to pick up Nathan Ellis next week, or had already picked him up, I would say, given that he could have easily not actually bowled again. But he came back on bowled as 2, and it actually took an over off of Chris Jordan that. But in the end, it didn't matter too much. I think Jordan and Chowdhury both got to about 50 or so. And yeah, Green and Christian who did nothing. Sam Billings, 28 off 15, probably the only keeper to fire at the moment for this round. Then we get to the bowlers. Riley Meredith, 2 for 30 off 4. He's been really, really good this year and shows that guys that are in this system, I feel like, that are underpriced, like returnees, can really fire. I think if you're a bowler that you're priced in, that you've played BBL before and you're priced in that sort of 20 to 30 bracket, I genuinely think you're a really good chance of actually outscoring it by 20 or 30 points, just because usually players have bounce back years. Billy Stanlake, 4 overs, 1 for 25. He was really, really good as well. Nathan Ellis probably shouldn't have bowled himself over the likes of a Chris Jordan in that last over, because he just went for a little bit. I think the last over, if we look here, the last over, you can see 13 off the last 3 balls. That just shows, I think. Peter Hatzcliffe, 4 overs, number 29. I thought he bowled really well, even though he's bowling to a really absolutely horrendous matchup in David Warner. So I thought he bowled really well. And I feel like he's going to be one that you could potentially get ultra cheap on the double, because Salamanca's gone, as well as who else has gone for them? Just trying to think. Oh, Shea Hope, sorry. And that means that Charlie Wakeham's actually going to come in. But those two have gone, and it means that Peter Hatzcliffe is going to be the guy that probably takes the spinner slot, as they said that they're going to focus on their domestic talent. And if he's basically played 1 or 2 games, he's going to be really ultra cheap, and I feel like you could almost get him for just dirt cheap price. I mean, he did go and only score a 14, but I feel like that was a really hard matchup. He's priced at probably going to be priced about 82k for the double. I think that you could potentially get him as one of those playing just guys off the bench type of players that you could potentially even loop in or whatnot. There's that. Then we move across to the second innings. Mitch Owen didn't get to the 13, neither did Matt Wade, but they set the innings alight, and this is what I was talking about with intent, and I guess it worked in the end. But it just felt like, and this is why it can go wrong as well, it felt like every time that you just thought, the Hurricanes are probably up to about 75-80% chance of winning now, they lose a wicket. Like, if we just look at this, bang, bang, and then just when you thought they were getting ahead, wicket. Just when you thought they were getting ahead, again, another wicket. So, just a really, really awkward period, I guess, for that, in that Chowdhury got out. Just an awkward time. 12.1 overs. So, just a little awkward there. But anyway, these two guys, Matt Wade and Mitch Owen, 13s very, very quickly. Just got the innings off to a fast start there. 2.1 overs, 32. A very, very fast start. Wakeham had a couple of good cover drives, but then just got bogged down by Chris Green, and in the end it was Tom Andrews that got the wicket on just a leg stump, almost half volley. They tried to slog sweep. Probably should have just pushed it down the ground if he was actually thinking, but I think he wanted to get a boundary away to keep the momentum up, and that's why he got out. So that was just the pressure there. And then Chowdhury just nicked off without any feet movement. He just tried to nurdle it down to third man, and he just nicked off there to Sam Billings off of Garton, who got 2 for. Those who brought in Hasnain, he looked absolutely pathetic, bowling half volleys and full tosses. So that was really, really poor from him, I would say, and I thought he would be a lot better than he was. George Garton, 3 overs, 2 for 31. He was huge, and we will go back to the last couple of batters here in a second. Wes Agar, 2.5 overs, 1 for 35, means he's taken 9 for 195 in 18.5 overs or something like that, or 18.3 overs. So expensive, but he's still picking up poles. And I mean, when you have Hasnain, your strike bowler, and George Garton, who took 2 poles in the end, but he was going very expensive to start. Tommy Andrews has been a really good revelation. I think he could also pick up a deal next year as a just a secondary or third spinner. I feel like he could take a deal with one of the sides. I don't know who exactly. Maybe a Brisbane Heat take him on as an extra spinner or something like that. I don't know exactly. Maybe even the Sydney Thunder just take him on as well. Could the Renegades use him or the Stars use him as well? That could be interesting. I think he deserves a deal, given that he's been bowling really, really well. But I'm just surprised as a local replacement player how well he's played. Chris Green, 3 overs, done for 15, bowled a couple of wides, but I feel like him and Tom Andrews, Tim David, which we'll switch to now, He knew that if he could get through the spinners, the game was done and sealed. So if you actually watched Tim David bat, that was one of the best innings that I've seen set up. He set that up. He knew exactly how that scenario was going to fall, and that he was going to win the game off the pace bowlers, especially in the power play, the power surge, and not against the spinners. He defended for his life against the spinners because he knew that he could go at 15, 16 runs per over against the pace bowlers. And that's what exactly he did. And it just shows, I think, intent. If we actually look at the boundaries for the Thunder, they hit 8, 9, 13 fours, no sixes. 1, 4, 7, 11, 13 fours for the Hurricanes, but 9 sixes. They hit 9 more sixes than the Thunder in terms of boundaries, and that's what won them the game. Simply put, yes, David Warner was stealing a lot of runs in the field through running hard, but he wasn't getting the boundary balls away to really put emphasis on. I think his first boundary came after about ball 20 or so, ball 25. I think it was in the 7th over that he got his first boundary away. I can even just show you this. Where is it? The Thunder here. And I think that was the ultimate difference, is that the Hurricanes were able to get away absolutely. I think it might have even been this 5.3. So if he doesn't get a boundary away, let's just start here. Where's the first boundary here? Look at the first boundary doesn't even come until the 5th over against against Stanlake. And then David Warner hits his first boundary on the 39th ball of the innings. And I want to say that was about ball 20 for him. So just shows how little emphasis he put into the innings. And I think it really shows in the back end when in that sort of over 10 to 15 range, when the Hobart Hurricanes kicked up another gear, whereas the Thunder really stalled, I would think, in that period here. You can look at it. In that 3.4 over span, they hit 34, but that was mostly because of Sam Billings. But after a 3.2 over span for another 30 odd. But if you look at this, 6 overs for 40 runs, or 39 balls for 40 runs there, that's the big killer, that period there, where they just nurdled it around outside of the power play. If you even think about that, that is, 8.3 overs for 62 runs in that period there, after Sam Const just got out, and between Gilks and Ollie Davies and David Warner. So they just really just did nothing for that period there, and that's what killed the game off for them, because after that, they scored 82 off the last 7.4 overs. But they left it way too late and left 20 out there. But anyway, in terms of Supercoach, obviously David Warner went big. I think he ended up with, as you see here, 108, Tim David 103, Chowdhury and Jordan. So for those people that had batters, high risk, high reward, and the reward paid out massively here, and you'll see it in the other games as well, as massive run scoring efforts. If you actually still look at it, the bowlers, if you look at the batter only guys, only 211, any other batters, 211, 247, and then we look at, Mitch Owen, you can almost count 250 basically, and then 264, 281, and then even anyone else here, just 281 points through batter only guys, whereas other guys, and there was 780 points. You do have a lot of bowlers that, batter bowlers that did score a lot of runs with the bat, but it just shows that batter onlys do tend to, the split just isn't there. I would like to see the split, if I could calculate it, with the bats versus the ball in this game, but I feel like these type of games generally favour the bowlers still, even though it was 160. But anyway, that is the video there going through the Hurricanes versus Sydney Thunder. If you did enjoy it, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload it, especially with only, I think, 7 days to go in the BBL SuperCoach regular season, or in the BBL SuperCoach season itself. And then we finally get to move on into the AFL season and put this season behind, because I feel like it was one that I did make some bad trades. The premise was good with the trades I made this week, but just got a little bit unlucky with the Adelaide pitch being the biggest road I've seen, but also just unlucky with some guys getting to 18 and not 20, but then also some drop catches and stuff like that as well. Some just BBL SuperCoach is a lot more luck than I would say than AFL SuperCoach and Fantasy, and sometimes luck just isn't on your side. So it is what it is. Always felt a trade behind with the Wildermyth starting pick and stuff like that, but we'll learn from it, I guess, and make changes for the next BBL 15, I guess, when it comes around in 11 months time. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.